You can lock your doors. You can read the safety statistics. You can move to Uruguay, the Switzerland of Latin America, the safest corner of the continent, and still, you won't be safe. Because one dawn on the dunes of Carrasco, they discovered a woman's body, the sand still clinging to her lifeless face. She wasn't the first, she wouldn't be the last, and the man responsible? He was right there, searching alongside police, blending quietly into the panic. Tonight, we'll unravel the dark legend of two killers who shattered the peaceful myth of Uruguay, a nation that once believed monsters were only found elsewhere. Their names were Pablo Goncálvez and Pablo García Cejas, the only two serial killers ever convicted in the history of the country. Crack open Latin America's boldest secrets, fact-checked, footnoted, and irresistible. I'm Arturo, and this is LatinLora. From Latin America's history to mysteries and true crime, to local legends whispering Latin intrigue. Every tale is triple verified in archives before it reaches your headphones. Hit subscribe. Fresh revelations drop every week. A country without monsters. Uruguay was always considered different. A tranquil strip of land nestled between giants, Brazil and Argentina, Uruguay offered sandy beaches, historic architecture, mate-sharing afternoons, and notably low crime rates. Murder was rare, serial killers unheard of, and violence something reported on distant shores, until the early 1990s changed everything. On New Year's Day 1992, Carrasco, a wealthy Montevideo suburb of stately homes and private schools, awoke to panic. Ana Luisa Miller, a bright 26-year-old history teacher, never returned from celebrating the night before. A frantic search ended quickly, tragically, when her body was discovered among the sand dunes of Solomar. The crime was chillingly clean: manual strangulation, bruises from blunt force trauma, but no robbery, no sexual assault, no obvious motive. Someone had wanted her dead, then proudly displayed their handiwork to the world. Investigators first suspected her fiancé, Hugo Zappelli, but he cooperated fully, passing polygraphs and showing genuine grief. Detectives were puzzled. Carrasco, with its wealth and security, seemed impenetrable, a haven from fear, but their assumptions soon collapsed. On September 20th, 1992, 16-year-old Andrea Castro Pena vanished after visiting England, a popular nightclub in Carrasco. 3 weeks passed before fishermen near Punta del Este found Andrea partially buried on Playa Mansa. A white and green silk tie, neatly knotted around her neck, provided a grim signature. Again, no signs of robbery or sexual assault, just the controlled, deliberate taking of life. Uruguay, previously proud of its safety record, began trembling. Could these two murders be connected? Detectives now examined the silk tie, imported decades earlier from England, limited edition, expensive. Who owned it? On February 8, 1993, young journalist Maria Victoria Williams failed to arrive at work. Her family knew something was wrong. Days later, her body surfaced in Parque Roosevelt, a wooded area near Carrasco. Strangled, no defensive wounds, no evidence of struggle, a precise execution. 3 women, same neighborhood, same method. Uruguay had its first known serial killer. Fear took hold. Families locked doors. Citizens demanded answers. Then police remembered an overlooked incident. 2 years earlier, a woman had accused a young man named Pablo Goncálvez of raping her at gunpoint, handcuffing her inside his car. Authorities had dismissed her testimony, believing she had regretted consensual intimacy. Now, they reconsidered. Detectives quietly watched Pablo, a diplomat's son, educated and articulate, who lived comfortably in Carrasco. They soon learned Goncálvez had personally known at least one victim, Maria Victoria, who was his neighbor. Astonishingly, he'd even joined volunteer search parties after her disappearance, consoling her worried relatives. On February 22, 1993, as Goncálvez attempted to flee Uruguay on a bus bound for Brazil, police intercepted and arrested him. After hours of interrogation, his carefully maintained mask slipped. He calmly confessed, recounting details only the killer could know: the placement of bodies, disposal of evidence, even the precise knotting of the ties. Detectives shuddered. They had uncovered not a raging monster, but a polite, intelligent young man who killed to assert silent control, to feel dominance over life and death. Goncálvez's 1996 trial became a national spectacle. Forensic experts meticulously matched fibers from the silk ties to his collection inherited from his diplomat father. His defense argued police coercion, But evidence overwhelmed courtroom doubts. Uruguay's justice system, which had never prosecuted a serial murderer, found itself tested to unprecedented limits. In the end, he received Uruguay's maximum sentence, 30 years imprisonment. Yet prison didn't dampen Goncalvez's manipulative tendencies. Known as El Diplomatico, he tutored fellow inmates in English, mediated conflicts, and created an illusion of rehabilitation. Some inmates saw through this facade, attacking him viciously in March 2002, stabbing him 26 times. But Goncalves survived, his notoriety only enhanced. Psychological evaluations painted a chilling portrait. Specialists described him as a high-functioning psychopath, articulate, charming, emotionally hollow. He felt neither remorse nor empathy. Experts speculated childhood neglect. His diplomat father's constant absences, his mother's emotional distance, left him craving control, desperate to matter. Strangulation allowed him the slow, intimate destruction of another's life, complete dominance. In prison, Goncalves married, fathered a child, studied law and economics, projecting a facade of normality. Thanks to good behavior credits, he walked free on June 23, 2016, serving barely two-thirds of his sentence. Public outrage was instant. Families of the victims felt betrayed. Society questioned the justice system. Goncalves moved to Paraguay, opened a small repair shop, but quickly spiraled back into trouble, arrested in 2017 for weapons and drugs. After release in 2019, he quietly returned to Uruguay. Though rumors swirled, no new murders were officially linked, but his shadow remained, darkening Uruguay's peaceful image. In 2015, another Pablo García Cejas, emerged, this time in Maldonado, near glamorous Punta del Este. Unlike Goncalves's precise elegance, García Cejas was rougher, less controlled, yet equally lethal. Working odd jobs, Garcia drifted into crime, becoming caretaker at Los Picaflores, a decaying chalet where Claudia von Gravenitz lived, feuding bitterly with her brother Alejandro. Claudia proposed murder, offering Garcia 90,000 pesos to eliminate Alejandro. Initially, Garcia hesitated, but on April 2nd, something snapped. Seeing Alejandro vulnerable at the kitchen sink, Garcia grabbed a metal bar and delivered brutal, repeated blows. Alejandro clung to life briefly before dying in hospital. Garcia disposed of the weapon, collected payment, and continued life as usual, eerily unaffected. Weeks later, Connie Silva, 19, threatened Garcia with blackmail after he carelessly revealed Alejandro's murder. Terrified, Garcia lured her to a rented cabin in Punta del Diablo, and while she faced away, crushed her skull with a stone. He left her body carelessly concealed, stole her car, and returned to Maldonado. Days later, alerted by a stench, authorities discovered Coney's decomposing body. As investigators closed in, Garcia panicked. On June 12th, Claudia confronted him over a minor issue, triggering explosive rage. He stabbed Claudia 16 times. Calmly, he cleaned up, locked the house, and fled. Police pursued him relentlessly, capturing him after a desperate chase. At trial, Garcia showed chilling calmness, detailing each murder casually. Profiler Adriana Savio Corvino described him as impulsive, paranoid, emotionally unstable. His murders reflected desperation rather than dominance, panic instead of control, yet they echoed the earlier nightmare of Carrasco. Garcia also received Uruguay's maximum 30-year sentence. Two killers, 2 decades apart, both named Pablo, shattered Uruguay's cherished identity of peaceful coexistence. Their methods diverged, one cold, meticulous, calculated, the other frantic, impulsive, chaotic. Yet both chose victims close to them, both revealed hidden fractures beneath Uruguay's tranquil surface. The nation struggled with painful self-reflection. Was their famed safety simply an illusion maintained by luck and isolation? Were these crimes aberrations or symptoms of deeper cultural denial? Years passed, yet fear lingered. The families of victims, haunted by unanswered questions, campaigned for stronger laws, justice reforms, and better victim support. Goncalves and Garcia, confined behind bars, continued to cast invisible shadows. Today, Uruguay remains one of Latin America's safest countries, but now tempered by reality. Parents lock doors tighter, watch strangers closely. Citizens recognize that darkness isn't foreign, it's quietly domestic, disturbingly intimate. 2 killers, each named Pablo, forever altered a nation's image. Their crimes, haunting, horrific, human, force us to confront uncomfortable truths. Safety is fragile, peace uncertain, and evil quietly waits, hidden in plain sight. Gracias, thanks for trekking the hidden trails of Latin America with me. Drop your theories below, and until then, keep the legends alive and the facts on fire. I am Arturo, and this is LatinLora. If tonight's story unsettled you, subscribe and ring the bell, because Latin America's darkest stories are far from over.